Legal documents in real estate seem pretty boring, right? But what if these liability waivers are actually telling us a fascinating story about how American society has fundamentally changed in the last few decades?
That's such an interesting perspective. How did you come to that realization?
Well, I was looking at this release form from a property in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, and it's remarkable how it captures the evolution of our whole approach to property transactions. Just a generation ago, people would walk through homes with barely a second thought about liability.
Hmm. So you're saying these documents are like time capsules of our changing society?
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is how this particular agreement at Frank Williams Road goes beyond just basic liability. It explicitly mentions potential risks of personal injury or death, which sounds dramatic, but it reflects this massive shift in how we handle risk and responsibility.
That's quite intense language. How do buyers typically react when they're presented with such serious documentation?
That's where the role of modern real estate agents becomes so crucial. Agents now need to be part legal interpreter, part risk manager, and part psychologist, explaining these documents in a way that informs without alarming.
Well, that makes me wonder about the psychological impact of all this documentation on the whole home buying process.
It's actually created this interesting dynamic where property viewing has become much more intentional. The agreement even encourages potential buyers to conduct independent inquiries with professionals before entering the property. It's like a formal acknowledgement that home buying is now a serious professional undertaking.
That's really shifted from the casual open house visits of the past, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And here's what's particularly clever about this agreement: it creates this comprehensive shield of protection that extends to literally everyone involved: the seller, their agents, employees, contractors, and even protects against claims from the signer's heirs and insurance carriers.
So it's essentially creating this complete legal ecosystem around a simple property viewing.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how it balances protection with transparency. The seller still has to disclose property conditions, but now there's this formal acknowledgement of understanding those risks. It's like we've created this new language of real estate transactions.
That's really interesting. How do you see this evolving with new technologies entering the market?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. These agreements will likely need to adapt to cover things like virtual reality tours, drone inspections, and even digital privacy concerns. The basic framework we see in this agreement will probably expand to include whole new categories of liability we haven't even thought of yet.
Hmm. And I imagine the digital transformation of these documents themselves is inevitable.
Oh, yeah. While this current format with its multiple signature lines and printed names feels very traditional, we're likely heading toward blockchain verified digital signatures and smart contracts. But you know what's really interesting? The fundamental purpose hasn't changed. It's still about creating clear understanding between parties.
That's fascinating how something as simple as a liability waiver can tell us so much about where we've been and where we're going in real estate.
And it goes even deeper than that. These documents reflect broader societal trends: our increasing awareness of risk, the importance of professional guidance, and how technology is reshaping traditional transactions. It's like watching the future of real estate unfold through legal paperwork.
Well, that certainly puts these seemingly mundane documents in a whole new light.
You know what's really going to be interesting to watch? How these agreements adapt to new environmental concerns, privacy issues, and whatever other challenges emerge in the real estate market. They're like living documents that keep evolving with our society.
That's such a thoughtful way to look at what most people would consider just another form to sign.
Well, that's exactly it. These documents aren't just paperwork, they're snapshots of how we as a society handle risk, responsibility, and trust in one of the most important transactions people make in their lives. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it. Everyone has a stake in the transaction. So, the best thing is for everyone to understand as much as you can. And if you don't, ask someone